Hello and welcome to Hot Indonesia, where passions flow like motorbikes in rush hour traffic. I'm Dalton Tanonaka in Jakarta. Sometimes they flow, sometimes they stop.
Yeah, that's I was going to ask.
Here is this week's HI Hot List. Papua Christmas. The president's moving national holiday services, what that means to Papuans. Virgin police. Is anyone going to change the discriminatory entrance test for women? Maybe we will. And sex ban. No more lovemaking in Central Java at one specific spot, and we're going to tell you where that is. Now, here beside me every week are two ladies with enormous knowledge. Rahayu Saraswati, Sarah, parliament member,
sex trade,
actress, activist, all rolled into one big ball, and that ball is getting bigger.
I love the pause you put right. Anyway, never mind.
And next to her is Yeni Wahid, director of the Wahid Institute, daughter of the fourth president of Indonesia, and professional race walker. We missed you at the color run. Yeah, we had a good time.
Oh,
okay.
You did that?
We did it together.
Him.
Oh,
Hot topic number one, Papua Christmas. It's been a tradition that every year the president leads the national observance of Christmas. It's usually done in Jakarta, but for the first time, the celebration will be held in Papua on December 27th, with several 100,000 people expected to gather in Jayapura for the Christian holiday. You know, the Indonesia channel has been named the broadcast coordinator for the event, so we will be airing that special program for global audiences. It's a good thing, and good move by Joko Widodo, because most, he knows, most indigenous Papuans are Christian, and right off the bat, it makes that part of the country feel included. Good political move, if nothing else.
Well, absolutely. I think it's okay. Papua is one area that has gotten a lot of controversy in the past few years, and of course has been even internally, even within Indonesians ourselves. There's a lot of misguided conceptions and a lot of questions as to what is actually happening over there, just because, at least for those living in Java and Sumatra, it's so far away. I mean, I think people abroad don't really understand how the distance range between
6 hours to get to
It's
Papua.
almost
6
like
hours
from
to
here
get
to Japan.
there.
To
Almost the
Japan,
same
yeah.
distance.
Literally. So it's one thing, of course, is the situation there with the people, and in terms of the economy. You know how much more expensive things are over there.
Yeah, we talked about,
it's insane.
And most people know that Papua is one of, if not the richest province in the country. Natural resources, gold, copper, tin.
And yet that's not.
Well, yeah. Why hasn't the government paid more attention to the Papuans who say they aren't feeling the benefits?
The government says that they have, and all of the government have been paying very close attention, huge attention. In fact, if you quantify it, I mean, I remember the Vice President Yusuf Kala said that if you quantify it, then the government is actually giving each Papuan 10 million rupiah. That's how big the money that's pouring into Papua.
So they say they aren't?
You know how
at the same time,
it's stuck somewhere.
At the same time, the level of corruption there is also extremely humongous.
Yes. I was about to say, like in America, you have U.S. aid, for example, but here in Indonesia, we have what's called the bansos or bantuan sosial, which is social aid, and in terms of how much Papua as an area, as a province gets, Papua and West Papua is. I mean, the numbers are shocking. As she said, you know, if you calculate it, each Papuan would actually get 10 million.
Well, where's the money?
However, this is one thing that I've heard from an HIV aid worker. They said, look, you have to take a look at this as the social aspect, that, you know, the cultural aspect. For example, every time the social aid actually gets there, you can see a rise in AIDS and HIV numbers. The reason for that is every time this is to do with corruption. This is to do with corruption. It's culturally acceptable there. Every time, or not acceptable, but the people just accept it that their chiefs, because it's still, you know, it's still very much tribal system there. Their chiefs, every time, because, you know, the social aid goes through the chiefs. Every time the chiefs would get this huge chunk of money, they party.
Okay. Now there are good government leaders in Papua. Okay, including the present Papua provincial governor who I met, who really cares about getting more benefits to the people. So we're not saying all of Papuan official.
But also, actually, this won't be the first time that a Christmas party is going to be held. A national Christmas celebration is going to be held there
in Papua,
because I remember I spent New Year's Eve with my dad there, and before that, Ibu Megawati was
Okay, so
there.
that's
also.
New Year's, but this is the first actual president leading
Mega was
Christmas
there.
service.
Mega was there.
The president was
Oh, vice president. Sorry, she was as a vice president.
Yeah.
Okay, so president.
Vice
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
now I just came
Okay.
back from a site visit there, and the people there, I mean, let's get back to the
she
event.
was still vice
president.
People are hopeful that this event is a signal that Jakarta finally is paying more attention.
No, Jakarta has been paying lots of attention. Had been paying lots of attention, but it's just that I think Jakarta is very cautious about how to go around the Papuans, because of the tribal
Huge,
systems
yes,
and all that,
yes.
and because of
The
sensitivity when it
cultural
comes
gap.
when it comes to addressing some issues there. So it hasn't been. I think
I don't know. I get the
Jakarta
feeling
has not.
they don't think people are listening to them. I don't, because of the remoteness or what. But
You
they
know
don't-
what's happening as well is because I'm sorry to say, but one of the biggest mining deals was renewed, and extended for the next 30 years or something.
and that deal began way back in the Suharto years.
But it was renewed
Okay.
when it could have been renegotiated to make sure that the Papuans get benefit.
and that's what
from
they're
that.
saying. Deals like that don't come back directly.
They
to them. But that's
don't-
another issue.
They don't
Let's
get
get-
benefits from mining companies like Freeport.
I mean, then the mining companies
do,
say they
do.
build
Actually,
they
there
build
is- there is-
schools,
yes.
they provide
There is,
jobs.
Obviously, but we're talking about how much they take from there is nothing in comparison
maybe the
to
balance
the CSR.
got to be better. Maybe the balance has to be better.
The
but-
money is huge. The money
Yeah.
that is flowing there is
No,
very
from
big.
the government is very big.
1% of
flowing
the
out.
whole of the whole
Yes, let's not forget about that.
of the whole what do you call it of the profit. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's a big money, but the allocation of the money is the problem. I think.
Yes.
Where the money
how
goes
much it comes
to.
back. Okay, one
yes.
last point very quickly. Independence. There is the Free Papua movement that is
Mm-hmm.
banned. Again, in talking to those I met with in Papua, I didn't talk to all of them, but many people say if things don't change over the next 5 years, if they don't feel more inclusive or get more of the benefits from this government, the demand for separation will definitely come. I mean, and you know what? It seems like it's their own country. There's a strong culture, strong feeling of tribal pride and all that. So I wouldn't.
And I will put this, and I'm sorry if this offends some people, but I will put this out there, that there are some people out there who want to see Indonesia separated. Who they feel, because again,
that
Papua
a
is a
bad thing?
very rich with natural resources, and they feel like, oh, if we just separate them and make it like East Timor, then we can take more advantage of it. I'm sorry, but that's also the underlying causes that we cannot
But
overlook.
Papuans want self-governance.
But we need to educate and make sure they
yeah.
understand what independence means.
Okay, well, back to this event. I think it's going to be a feel-good evening. Christmas always promotes nice
she wants to say something.
emotion.
Can I just say
She wants to
something
say
from
something.
our experience? Because we've dealt with Papuans, and I think directly, and also the issue of independence. We have a very good relationships with some of the free Papuan movement people, because we try to listen to them. That's what I mean. If you ask the Papuans there, they've got a strong feelings for my dad, because they feel that he listened to them.
Okay,
and
and
one
that's
of
what they
the
want.
one of the
Yes.
gestures that he did for them was to allow them to raise their the star, the Papuan star flag. It's
Morning
simple.
Star flag,
It's
yeah.
a small thing like that. But now I think
Now it's banned, and
it's banned again.
Maybe they'll let them do
so
it again.
it's small
That's
thing
what they
like
want.
that. It's not
Okay.
just money, actually.
Got it.
We
Okay.
have to look at it in a bigger context.
Okay, but Christmas is a nice start. Okay, Hot Indo will continue shortly. Now, who came up with the rule that female police recruits must be virgins?
Indonesia opens up my heart. Unforgettable. Love is just the start. Indonesia.
Indonesia Channel for the world to see. Indo Cinema on the Indonesia Channel.
Exhale, reaching down to triangle pose. And exhale takes you down into flying monkey. It shifts forward and then start to fly. Come follow me on my travels every week on the Indonesia Channel.
Yoga Bliss, only on the Indonesia Channel. The best of Bali, only on the Indonesia Channel. Passion for fashion, only on the Indonesia Channel.
You are watching Hot Indonesia with Sarah, Yenny, and me. Here's hot topic number 2, Virgin Police. The push is on to recruit more females into the police force to at least 5% of the 400,000 total force. All must take aptitude and physical tests, but women have one more barrier that male candidates don't: a virginity test. A national police spokesman says it's not about gender, but about morality. And this has been talked about the past couple weeks. It's our turn to weigh in on this. Inspector General Mugiarto's logic is that if a woman recruit had been a prostitute, how could she be a police officer?
Okay, this is a very heavy. I mean,
that was a heavy side.
For losing one's virginity equates being a prostitute. Okay, I was a.
No, okay. There's a few things we need
let's
to.
lay it out logically.
I was going to say.
For our viewers.
Hold on. We
overseas.
need to lay it out to make sure people understand how this came about. Basically, there was a blog article that was talking about Human Rights Watch findings that stated that through interviews with a few police officers who passed or did not pass, or former and blah blah blah, and all those involved in the recruitment process of police officers. They did interviews throughout Indonesia, so it's not just one place. National police. And asked how was the recruitment process to make sure human rights was basically in compliance with that. And it seemed that there were a few interviews that, even though it was done in different places, but the outcome was the same. That they were saying how they felt violated and they felt traumatized, that some of them even fainted because the way that it was done. Apparently, you go into a room that's not even a room. Sometimes it's even just an aula that's a place like not a ballroom. What do you call that? You just cover it with
it's been done for a while
looking.
now. It's not just recent.
Again, I'm explaining so that people understand, and that they would go in 20 at a time. So you understand this is not a private session. It's not one-on-one, and you don't. And here's the thing: in Indonesia, we don't have health education. So you don't actually. A lot of these women don't understand about, like, for example, Pap smear. Or the test for sexual transmitted diseases.
Health education. They should know better. This is wrong in
so
many ways.
But these are
wrong,
new.
Right?
These are new.
Okay.
Going
but
into.
You're agreeing that it's wrong in so many ways.
It's been around for so long.
For several years.
The test is done basically, to get right to it, by testing the hymen, right? Checking the hymen to see if it's intact, which
If
is
it's
not a
intact,
reliable
yes.
test for
It is
virginity.
okay. We have to understand what they're talking about. The virginity test is a two-finger test, and yes, it is very much unreliable. And
I mean, hey, men, we get it when they check our prostate. I understand the finger
It's
thing.
demeaning. It's
But
degrading.
it's
everything.
but here's the
It's-
thing. Here's the thing. Can you
sexist.
test virginity on men?
That's what I'm saying too.
Right?
That's the point.
That's
it's,
the point
it's
that we're
gender
making here.
biased
It's-
because if there could be a male prostitute, and if is he still a good? So that argument doesn't cut it. Okay, activist groups, as you said, and NGOs are calling for the end of this test,
Yes.
but police haven't responded. You know, they're not saying, "Oh, we're going to look at it," and they haven't.
Because
so
here's the thing.
the protests have got to
Because
keep up, or this will continue.
Because
senior-
it was actually written that. Again, the website is somehow the recruitment that's written there. The recruitment process is somehow different from the law that was passed by the police that actually said that this has actually been removed from the test since 2012.
But it's still being
However,
done.
it's still being done, and this is the question. So the police, they cannot say that it's being done because obviously, you know, written
Well,
in law, it's not
in
there.
the recent weeks, the police spokesmen
However,
have acknowledged it's happening, but their logic is screwy. Now, newspaper columnist Julia Suryakosuma in the Jakarta Post says that male police officers support this policy and support the continuation to, quote, counteract their terrible reputation and that women are easy targets. I mean, she's saying that they obscure the issue of corruption in police and that the crimes that police commit by saying women are prostitutes or they can't be in the police force. I don't think there's a direct correlation, but her point is that it goes back to the fact that there are numerous cases of males not upholding the laws they're supposed to defend.
I think we also need to look at this as in, okay, first of all, you need to see how Indonesians with our culture...
You're not defending this at all, no?
No,
Oh, okay.
hold on. You have to listen to this. The social cultural context is when you're talking about sex before marriage. Here, with the belief system and the way they look at it, is that it's very, very harsh. It's the same as saying if you're running to become a district attorney, you're running to become governor of New York, if you ever slept with a prostitute, that is like getting the same slap. I'm not saying it's the same. It's definitely not the same. However, that's how Indonesians, a lot of Indonesians, unfortunatately still look.
How many virgins are left?
Exactly. How many girls can join the police force?
That's exactly my
next
question, because we
future.
are failing our next generation.
Yeah, and it goes
we are
back
failing
to
our next generation because
family
of
values.
But
Yes,
there are many. But there
because-
are many issues at stake.
There's a lot of
It's
layers
not just
here.
about being virgin or being, girls losing virginities and all that. It's not moral values, but also women being the burden of morality in this country.
Yes.
I mean, that's the
absolutely.
social context of this.
Yeah, men are
And-
blameless.
and
Yeah, I mean that's
exactly,
the mindset,
yes.
and that's the wrong thing. So what do we do? How do we solve this? You keep the pressure up on the police to get
Yeah,
rid of this.
absolutely.
I mean that's a
not
small
just
step.
the police, not just police. Like in Aceh, for example. I mean,
Yeah,
you
that's-
cover up all sorts of
Sharia
problems
law is a whole
by
different subject.
yes.
And here's the thing, I just want to put this on
quick.
point real quick, that unfortunately there are also a lot of discrimination against the men as well. That I've heard from a lot of my friends.
Not as much as women.
No, a lot of my friends, of course, but we cannot overlook the point that, for example, if they even have a scar,
Or a
Dalton,
tattoo, yeah.
or they can't even make it into
That's a
the
different.
force.
That's another
No,
show.
no, of course, but what I'm saying is we cannot overlook that there's discrimination on both sides. It's not just on the women.
You're so balanced these days since you've been in Parliament. Yeah,
It's
Since you got married. Since you got married.
everything.
Okay, all right.
Since I got married, it's
we'll
kind of
talk
around
about
the
that.
same
But
time.
anyway, terrible law. Get rid of it.
Terrible,
okay. More hot
terrible,
Indo is
terrible.
coming up. No sex on a central Java mountain. Indonesia's first 24-hour English TV channel is here, with an exciting mix of programming to inform and entertain viewers around the world. The Indonesia channel offers something for everyone, from world-class lifestyle shows like Yoga Bliss to the hottest music hits and artists on iPop. News and information are an important part of the Indonesia channel, with Today's Indonesia and ASEAN Today providing what you need to know. International hosts such as Lorraine Hahn, Jamie Aditya, Caitlin Turner, and Dalton Tanonaka are among the faces you'll see. Movies, dramas, travel, and more are all on the Indonesia channel for the world to see.
Han, and this is Executive Golf. Good shot.
Executive Golf, only on the Indonesia Channel.
iPop is your guide for Indonesian music videos and Indonesian artists. Want to see Indonesian artists? Watch iPop playlist.
Passion for Fashion, only on the Indonesia Channel.
You're watching Hot Indonesia from Jakarta. Here is hot topic number 3, sex ban. It was part of local legend. Your wishes would come true if you had sex 7 times at the tomb of Prince Samudra on the slopes of Mount Kemukus in Sragen near Samarang. The practice morphed into an active prostitution industry surprise, so the Central Java governor recently said, "Stop in the name of love." No, that's a song.
I was going to say, I was like, really?
But you haven't been there, Telton.
I know well. That's why I kind of contributed to the problem. An Australian TV network raised the issue in a report, and that kind of prompted the. It's kind of a sensational.
It's been there for ages.
This is like the virginity test for women
rituals.
issue. Silly, hard to believe that it's being done in this day and age. And I think kind of maybe they did it as a tourism thing. Now more people will do it.
No, actually, a lot of
They ban it, and people want to go and break the ban.
You remember? Oh my gosh, what was that? That was this movie about Da Vinci Code. You know how they have ritual of having sex in the rituals. The Knights Templar.
I don't think you need a ritual to encourage people to do that.
But you know what's the funny thing?
But some people, unfortunately, I don't know how, but some people really believe in that.
The people who go there are just, not just regular merchants who seeking wealth and all that, but also government people.
Yes, that's very true. Oh yes,
people trying to get
mayors.
So imagine if it's a police officer got caught, a male police officer got caught with a prostitute there. Wouldn't that be funny?
Kill 2 birds
I guess
with 1
they
stone.
wouldn't go there with you're wearing their uniform.
Well, it's something to honor tradition. I mean, I'm a believer in following cultural heritage, but it's not hard to imagine a persistent boyfriend, for example, saying, "Honey, let's go and get rich tomorrow and do it on the mountain."
And I just have to put this on the
but
record.
you don't engage in you don't copulate with your legal partner.
Oh, that's right. It has to be with someone.
You meet there. That's the reason why you meet at the slope of the mountain. It's the first person that you meet.
So are you serious?
Seriously, yeah. I've heard all these tales, all the time.
Yes,
apparently, in the old days when they didn't meet people. Then they had sex with whatever, all the living beings that they met.
Whatever. What do you mean, like trees?
She's talking about
animals.
animals.
I mean like animals.
Okay,
like
now I have all this
stuff.
weird.
Well, that's
giving people nightmares now.
We're going to be banned in Malaysia.
That's the folk tales. I mean,
oh come on.
I'm just telling you what I heard.
I heard this growing up. You heard this growing up as well. This mountain.
Yeah, that's the reason why all these prostitutes are flocking there.
Yes, I was gonna say. This is becoming it's becoming like a business tourism for
and I'm sure it's still happening.
Prostitutes.
I mean, it is still happening. Yeah. I mean, do you want to check, Dalton?
No, but the governor said no, and I listened to the governor.
And on the record.
On the record, what?
It is happening in my district.
That's Central Java.
Sragen
that's yours.
Is my district.
Put your foot down, young lady.
Well, you know what? I think the governor is.
But imagine the AIDS prevalence there.
But you know what? There's a bigger issue than just this one thing that's happening in my district, because it's happening all over, and it's happening because prostitution is still legal in Indonesia. I'm not saying that prostitution
is not illegal. It's not legal. It's illegal.
There's no. Illegal. You try to find the law. There's only like one small tidbit.
Well, religion should take care of that anyway. So let's move on. Okay. Right?
Oh,
yeah.
Really, it's religion. It's haram.
There's no no
Okay.
prostitution.
Hey,
Oh,
it's
okay.
feedback
I
time,
didn't
and
know
I'm
that.
sure we're going to hear
We
about
have a no
this
pornography.
segment from a lot of people. Please let us know whether you like what you're hearing. Sarah with an H posted this on our Facebook page. Without you guys, honestly, I never have interest in any news. Well, that's what we like to hear. Thank you very much, Sarah with an H. If you have any feedback on what you've heard or would like to suggest a topic for us to tackle, please email us at hotindo@theindonesiachannel.com or comment through our Indonesia channel, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram pages. I gotta sign up for Instagram. Final words, Yenny.
You know, I've traveled to many different countries in the world, and I met so many different people. And you know, the people we met during our travels are nice people. And you know, when you meet, and they have different characteristics and traits. And I just thought that maybe wouldn't it be nice if we can export each other's you know, nice characteristics to one another? You know, like, we could learn being proactive from Americans and you know, being nice from Japanese. Japanese are very helpful. I've got an experience where I was helped by a stranger, a total stranger in Japan. And then, you know, we could learn to be more gregarious from Latin Americans, for example. So,
With a fiesta.
but
That's kind of
you know, it's just
racial profiling.
yeah. But
We're taking it from
the good positive
from
traits.
you, Dalton.
Got it.
I just
Got your
thought
point.
that you know, it's just nice if we could just take all
right.
these positive
Yeah.
positive traits,
Yes.
characteristics
Okay.
for one
Right.
another, and just make a complete human being of global.
But not from
human being.
Not from
you know.
Froggen. Okay. Final words, Sarah.
Hey, not everybody's
I
like
know,
that.
that's your
There's a
district.
very, very small.
How many times
percentile.
did you visit the Mount of Stragan?
Yeah.
All
And
I
did
did,
it have-
all I did was just
Did it
take
have any-
7 times shower in very, very cold
And
water.
how
Oh,
many
7
o'clock in the
times
morning.
showers.
How many times
What
supposed to have
preceded the
sex?
shower?
7 times. Final words, dear. Let's
Prayer.
go.
Okay, final words. Basically, on the point of the virginity test that's happening, yes, it's very discriminative with for women on that point, but we still have to take a look at the context and everything that's happening. I'm not saying that it's right. It's definitely not right, especially with the very outdated 2-finger test and the way it's being done. It shows with cases like this that's happening all over Indonesia that we are in dire need of a revolution that happens in our education system. And it also means that we need to be more open as Indonesians to health education, to understand the process of what it takes to be safe from example, for example, from sexually transmitted diseases. Now, one of the tests that they have there is actually to test to make sure that they do not carry sexually transmitted diseases. And unfortunately, sometimes, yes, that can also be misconstrued because for a lot of women who are not aware that that's actually proper procedure for a health checkup, they would think of it as traumatizing. So
As a
it's
virgin
very,
test, okay.
very interesting, very important to have better education in our country.
And not mental revolution. That's a new
No.
term. I'm just kidding.
Health,
Oh, I know.
education, and
Okay.
Education revolution.
My final words. You know, the U.S. holiday of Thanksgiving was recently observed, and you know, most Americans spend the day, to be honest, overeating and watching football on TV, American football. But the real intent of the day is to give thanks to those who have blessed your life. So let me say thank you to those who have provided me the opportunity to work and live in this wonderful country, to colleagues who want to truly get better at what they do, including my pals here, Sarah and Yenny, and because they already do it very well, and to all those who have stood beside me through it all. And that's Hot Indonesia for this week. For Sarah and Yenny, I'm Dalton Tanaka. See you next week. We'll be here.